Welcome back to Going Solo. I'm Rick, and this week we are playing the birds at the Sacred Groves. Let's go ahead and talk about the special rules. So first we have the Sacred Groves. The Sacred Groves has a Divine Wrath track, which can increase or decrease based on the cards we draw, and how many victims are in sacred spaces on the board, which are marked by this light red circle or border. We can also reduce Divine Wrath with the Atonement action cards that we can buy. And we have this add-on to the Bloodlust track that can sometimes unleash the Wrath, in which case we do whatever level it's at. So that's the basics of Sacred Groves. For the birds, they don't have movement like any other killer does. Instead of movement, we would actually spawn birds if we get a movement card. We also spawn birds on each killer phase. And our goal for the birds is to not to kill them all, but to rescue the special victims. Special victims don't appear on the board until all of the normal victims have been either rescued or killed, or otherwise removed from the board. So that is the only way special victims can arrive. We lose if our final girl drops to 0 hit points, or if there are 3 birds on every space of the board. So that's all of the special rules. I think that's all of the special rules for the birds. We do have a couple of special rules for the scenario, which are if a bird spawns in one of the 3 sacred spaces, a bird spawns in all 3 of them, and if we are able to unlock Barbara's power and we use it with a special victim, then the special victim does not die. Normal victims would still die with her special ability, but special victims would not. Okay, so I believe that is all of our special rules, so let's go ahead and jump in. Roland, Tyler, and Vlada were in the middle of their 12-stop trip around the world. Their previous stop, the mountains of South Africa, were incredibly picturesque, and in spite of the near-death experience they'd had, was their favorite place so far. But now they were on to a place they'd been told was the place to visit on the African continent. When they arrived at the Sacred Groves, the park was packed, and there were other tourists everywhere. "Hey, let's split up for a bit," Tyler suggested. "I want to go check out the gift shop." He was lying. What he really wanted to do was stare longingly at the Black Lotus card he had gotten from that cave. Alpha, and in mint condition. The others quickly agreed. They had their own baubles from the cave they wanted to enjoy as well. They had almost forgotten they were in a park full of incredible sights to see, and they certainly weren't paying attention as the skies began to darken due to the flock of birds above them. Okay, so we are playing Barbara is our final girl for this scenario. She requires 5 victims to unlock her special ability. And let's go ahead and get started with our first event card, which is Unholy Bloodshed. Anytime at least one victim is killed in a sacred space, unleash Divine Wrath. So we're going to try to prevent that from happening, because we do not want Divine Wrath unleashed that much. Okay, so let's get started here. So I want to start saving victims pretty quickly. Let's see, are there any good items that I could get? Let's see, what does the map do? Okay, I can find cards or find out what cards are in the item deck. The prayer book is for atonement cards. The mystery pills reduce horror or health. I think I'm just going to target saving victims first. So that's my first goal, is to get some victims saved. So to that effect, I'm going to walk. All right, we got one success there. So let's see. I think I'm going to go here. And then I'm going to walk again. One success again. So I will come over here. And then for the last action of my turn, I believe I'm going to do a weak attack. Try to kill this bird. That is one success. Okay. So I do take a point of damage, but the bird also dies. The birds have 1 hit point each. So. Alright, so. First round. Let's see. I've got 4 points left. I'm going to discard a focus card. No. I'm going to discard my short rest card to gain a time. And then I'm going to purchase sprint and distraction for my 5 points. The rest of these go back in the tableau. We reset our time, and it is the killer phase. Alright, so for the killer phase, the birds first get to attack. Now, their attacks is if any space has 3 birds, it gets an attack, and if the final girl space has any birds, it gets an attack. In this case, neither of those qualifies because the only 3 birds does not have any victims to attack. So, we move on to the first spawning. To spawn, we roll 2 dice. A 1 and a 2, that's pretty good for this. And we spawn birds based on this card, and we get to decide which one is the location and which one is the number of birds. In this case, I'm going to say 2 is the location and 1 is the number of birds that spawn. So we are spawning 1 bird, and we can go in any single space. So I'm going to put it here because there's nobody there. And if I put it there, I would have to spawn in all of the sacred spaces, and I don't want to do that. Alright. Then we draw a terror card. It is the bird wall. Victims may not be saved at an exit if there are any bird tokens on that space. Each time a bird is killed, place a bird token on this card. When this card has 5 or more bird tokens on it, remove this card from the game. Okay. So we have that there that we got to fill up to get removed. But until then, if there is a bird on the exit space, the victim can't be saved. Okay. Alright, so we are back to the action phase. Nope. Let's just go through. There is no panic because no victims died. And there is no upkeep at this time. So, now we are back to the action phase. So let's start with a distraction. A partial. I think I'm going to give up my 2 focuses for that partial, because it would actually also give me a time. Now, I do have this sprint card, which means I could probably get to the exit space. However, I don't think I'm going to use it because I don't have anything I can kill that bird with. So I think that's going to end my turn. And with 7 time, I'm going to get another distraction because I'd really like to have 3 dice. So I'm getting another distraction here. That's 3 points. I've got 4 left. So I'm going to take another sprint for 2. I'm going to take a search for 2 because I might go up to the groundskeeper's office or shed to see if I can find something there. And then, of course, let's see how many cards I've got. 1, 2, 3, 4. Adding the zeros. 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So far, I think we are doing okay. It's too soon to say we're doing well, but we are doing okay at the moment for the first couple of rounds. But now we move on to the killer phase. So once again, they can attack, but there's nowhere they can attack. So they spawn. That's a 1 and a 4. So let's see. 1 is distributed in any space, and 4 is at the nearest exit. I'll just do 1 at the nearest exit. Well, it's going to prevent me from... But I don't want to spawn 4 birds. So yes, 1 at the nearest exit. Yeah. Okay. And then we draw a terror card. Punishment of the Gods. Unleash Wrath. So we lose 2 time. Unleash Wrath again. We lose 2 more time. Then target and move, which instead of move, we spawn. A 4 and a 6. So it's either 4 in my space or 6 at the nearest exit. If I do 4 at my space, my victims are dead. If I do 6 at the nearest exit, it's going to overflow into my space because there can only be 3 birds on a space. So I'll just do the 4 at my space, which is going to put 3 at my space. And there will be 1 overflow, which I will put at the exit. Then they attack. So these birds are going to attack, and since there's 3 of them, it will kill both of these victims, which will increase bloodlust twice. For the first one, we have an event card, which is flash photography. Whenever at least 1 victim in your space panics, discard a random action card. And increase wrath by the number of victims at sacred spaces, which would be 2. Second one just increases the horror level. Then, the end of this card has another event card, which is the Gods Hate Failure. Whenever you completely fail a horror roll, increase wrath by 1. Okay. So this wasn't the best of killer phases, but we will get past it. We've only got 2 time points here. So let's see what we can do about that. There's nobody left in my spot to panic, and there's no upkeep, so we should be good. Okay. So let's go ahead and roll for distraction. Come on. One success. Okay. So we do lose one more time point, and we also go down in horror level. I am going to walks just so I don't immediately get attacked again. That is one success as well. Any kind of movement would reduce my time, which is at 0 already. So yeah, I think that's where I'm going to end my action phase. Since I have 0 time, I have no... I can't buy any cards except for the 0 cost cards, which are the 2 focus cards. Okay. So we got cut off. That's okay though. We're still going to be positive and hopefully get this thing under control. So it is now the killer phase. There's nowhere that they can attack. So we spawn. 2 and 5. So 5 is the nearest victim space, and 2 is any single space. I'm going to go with 2 birds at the closest victim space, which would be these guys here, because I'm about to work on getting these guys out of here. Okay. And then we draw a terror card. The birds are attacking. Attack in your space, which there's nobody in my space, and all spaces where birds outnumber victims. In this case, there's an equal number, so they do not outnumber them. If no attacks occurred, then we do a spawn and a bloodlust. So 3 and 6. I'm going to just put 3 birds in my... Oh. That's not going to be good. But I kind of have to do it. Yeah. It's going to be 3 birds in my space, which is going to spawn 3 birds in this space, and 3 birds in this space, which one of them will overflow. Sacred spaces. Okay. And then Bloodlust. So Bloodlust goes up, which means we unlock the Dark Power. They're just waiting to strike. During the upkeep, if there are 3 birds in your space, 2 horror. Okay. So that is the... Oh, and then Unleash, which is discard 1 random action card. I'll just shuffle them up here a little bit so that I truly don't know what's what. And we're discarding a focus. That's okay. Okay. All right, now it's the panic phase. Nobody was killed, so there's no panic. And the upkeep phase, there are 3 birds in my space. So horror goes up by 2. Okay. We are back to my turn. I'd like to try to actually get some people out. So, to do that, we are going to start with a sprint. One success. Do I have anything that could give me that second one? I mean, I've got stuff that I could get rid of, but am I willing to get rid of it? At this point, I don't see any items that are helping me, so I could get rid of that search. And there's no way I'm getting the horror level down enough to get 3 dice, so I could get rid of that focus. So I will go ahead and do that to get the 3 spaces. So I'm going to go 1. Yes, 1, 2, 3 to bring me to the Welcome Center. And that does lose me 1 time. Okay, I'm also going to walk. That is 1 success, so I lose 1 time, but I can take 2 victims with me to this space. I can't save them yet because there is a bird there, but I am going to do a weak attack. Oh. Why not? I'm going to discard these cards to kill the bird. And that will allow me to save these 2 victims. And for doing that, I'm going to reduce the horror level and gain 2 time. So I'm back up to 6. Okay, so now it is my planning phase. We'll take a distraction. There are no sprints left. I'll take a walk. I've got 3 points left. The Welcome Center has a map which would allow me to see what the next card is on each of those decks, because neither of those is really helpful to me at the moment. Except the mysterious pills could be helpful. But those are all the way over at the groundskeeper's shed. So I could do 2 points of search, or I could do another distraction to get me 3 cards. I would still only be able to move 1 space this round unless I somehow roll 2 successes. But I think that's what I'm going to go for. I'd really like to get to the 3 card mark. And the sprints are back out for me to grab next turn. Okay. So that will end my turn. It is the bird's turn, and these birds will attack, which means this goes up, increases the horror level, and increase that by the number of victims in sacred spaces, which there are none. But when one victim is killed, unleash wrath. So I'll do that first. This comes first. I think event comes first before the bloodlust event. So we would unleash this, which would discard one random action card, which is not great because I need these, so I'm kind of hoping it's my walk, but it's not. And then increase by the number of victims at sacred spaces, which is 0 anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered if I did that first. Okay. There's no upkeep, and there's no birds in my space for the dark power. Oh, we got to do a terror card though first. The birds are attacking. There's nowhere they can attack right now. So we spawn 2 and 3. So I could do 3 at the nearest exit or 2 at... Wait, no, 2 at the nearest search or 3 in any single space. The nearest exit is with me, and if I do 2... wait, no. It's 2 at the nearest search or 3 in any single space. So let me think about this. If I do 2 in the nearest search space, that's not enough to attack. So yes, that's what I'm going to do. Right here. Yes. Okay, and then increase Bloodlust, which just discards a terror card. Which was a spawning. Which is okay, because I don't need that many spawning. Okay. So, now, there's nobody to panic and no upkeep to do. So we are back to me. I'm going to play my distraction card. One success. So I gain 1 point, and horror goes down 1. Now, if I walk, I would go here. The birds would get to attack, so unless I roll 2 successes, which is not likely, so I'm not going to walk. Because I would need to roll 2 successes to get there and then back again. I'm not going to walk. So, I've got 7 points. With 7 points, I'm going to take a sprint for 2. And I'm going to take... Do I want the... Let me think here. Either Retaliate or Furious Strike. think I'm going to go Furious Strike, just so I have a little bit of firepower there. And of course, taking my 0 cost. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. Okay, we're okay still. These would go back for me to be able to buy next time, hopefully, if I can afford them. And then we're back to the killer phase. Nobody can attack. We spawn. 1 in my space. I'm okay with that. Rather than 6 distributed in any space, I would rather just spawn 1. And then we draw a terror card. Fickleness of the Gods. Place this card next to the Divine Wrath card. At the end of the upkeep phase, make a horror roll. And it has these different effects. Okay. I may spend 3 times during the action phase to discard this card. Alright. So, that was the killer phase. Which means there's no panic phase. Then we're at the upkeep phase. There's not 3 birds in my space, so we just go to the Fickleness of the Gods card. Make a horror roll, and hope for at least 1 success. 1 success, so there's no effect. Okay. Okay. Now. That brings us back to my turn. Okay, I definitely want to start with... Let's see if I can do it with a walk. Yeah, let's see what I can do with a walk. I've got 2 walks, so that might... It should be up there. Okay. I'm going to lose my 2 focus cards to turn that into a success, which puts me there. Do I want to kill these birds real quick before I move on? I could kill at least 1 of them. And I've got to be able to kill 1 when I come back, which is why I'm keeping my weak attack. Let's go ahead and try to kill at least 1 of these birds. Oh, but that's going to end my turn if I do that. No, I don't want to do that right now. I'm just going to walk again. Try to save these 2 victims. A double failure. So that is 2 down there. I am going to sacrifice the health to move. And whenever you fail a horror roll, completely increase wrath by 1. Okay. Then I'm going to do a weak attack. These guys should have come with me. I'm going to do a weak attack. Come on, come on, come on, please. Oh. Okay. Let's go ahead and give up my sprint, and I'm okay on health for the moment, so short rest, because I want to keep my Furious Strike to kill another bird. Then I can save these 2 victims. I am going to recover a health. And I am going to take any top item card. Which these mysterious pills are going to be what I take. mainly because I can reduce horror with them to try to get me up to the 3 dice that I need to be able to do this. Because I don't think I'm going to get very far until I get to those 3 dice. Okay. So, let's see. I've got a Furious Strike card, and I've got 3 action points. I could take a sprint or a distraction. A sprint and a close call or a distraction. It's going to have to be the sprint and the close call because I need to be moving. So that's what I'm going to take. All right. And there were no 0 cost for me to claim this time because they were all in the discard pile. Okay, so the bird's turn. Nothing for them to attack. So we spawn. 4 and 5. So that is going to be either 4 at the nearest victim's space, which would be here, or 5 at the nearest exit space, which would be my space. If they're at my space, then horror's going to go up more. And really the goal is to get rid of or save the special victims. So I'm going to do the 4 at the nearest victim space, which is going to put 3 here and then 1 overflow. Okay. I don't like it, but not much I could do. All right, then a terror card. Where are they coming from? Spawn again. 6 birds in my space. Okay. So 6 here, which would make 3 left. So 1 would go here. The other 2 would go here. So we're getting close to being filled up with birds. So we need to get moving and killing some birds too. All right, panic phase. We're good. But the upkeep phase makes the horror go up twice. And we are back to me. Okay, with the sprint card, the furthest I could get would be here. I could kill 1 bird here, I could kill 2 here. So I think that's where I'm headed, to kill 2 here. Or if I go the other way, the furthest I could get would be here to kill these 2. But that's with 2 successes. With 1 success, which is more likely, I could get either here or here. Either way, I could kill 2 birds. Maybe. Maybe 2 birds. More likely 1. All right. Let's do it then. Let's sprint. I'm going to go this way towards the 2 victims because that's, you know, I need at least 1 more to fill my card and I need to save more victims. Oh, these 2 are about to die anyway. And there's no way I can get over there. So I'll probably go up that way then. If I get 3, I'll definitely go up that way. Just one, though. So that's 2 spaces. So it's going to be 1, 2. Then a Furious Strike. Got to use my close call to re-roll one of those. You know what? I'm going to re-roll both of them. And that gives me a complete failure. Okay, with a complete failure, this goes up. Which is not great for me. Okay. So that's the end of my phase. So I can buy now. I've got 3 points. I'm going to take a sprint and a close call. Then it comes to the killer phase, which they're going to do 3 points of damage to me because I have nothing to resist. I might end up using these mysterious pills for health instead. Okay. Then we spawn birds. 3 and 4. So let's see, that would be 4 at the nearest exit, or 3 at the nearest search. Everything around here still already has 3, so it doesn't really matter what I do. So I'm going to do 3 at the nearest exit, which would be here. So then we would do 1, 2 for overflow, and then 3 for overflow up here, because they would overflow into adjacent spaces. Okay. Oh, I didn't resolve this card that I tried to do. So I would have lost another health. This would have gone up even more, and it would have ended my turn anyway. So. Okay. And I already bought cards. Yes, I did. Okay. So I'm down to 1 dice, which is so not where I wanted to be. Oh, I didn't take my 0 costs, though. I can take those. Haha. So that's something, at least. Alright. Then... Okay. So they attacked. They spawned. Then we do a terror card, which they're going to spawn again. 4 and 5. So either 5 at the nearest exit or 4 at the nearest victim space. We'll do 4 at the nearest victim space, I guess. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if it was fewer than 3, spawn again. So these should have gone back. Yep. Okay. Now. I'm down to 1 dice. I would discard another terror card from the horror going up again. And that's going to be it. Okay. Luckily, they didn't attack again. So, I've got a sprint card. I've got 2 walk cards. 1, 2, 3. I need 3 spaces to get over to them. I should be able to do at least 3 spaces. But I won't be able to actually save them. Because I don't have enough attack power to be able to actually save them. Unless I just kill the birds and then leave. Because then the birds won't attack them because there'd only be 2 of them. Anyway, let's see what I can do. Let's see. We're going to go for a sprint. Actually, first we're going to discard that for 2 health. No. We're going to discard that for my horror level to go back up. So I can get a second dice. Either way, I'm pretty much dead. So, alright, so now we're going to go for a sprint. 1 success. I could make it 2 with these 2 focus cards because that doesn't seem to matter anymore right now. Which means I get to move 3 spaces. Which is 1, 2, 3. Going to do a weak attack. Going to do a close call. Even with the weak attack, if I can't move, that still will kill both of them. It's not looking good for me, honestly. Either way, I'm going to lose a health. One way I get to take out 1 bird, but both of those victims are going to die, but that's okay, I guess. Yeah, I think that's going to... Well, because then the 3rd one would get me. Okay, let's do the weak attack, or the walk and short rest discarded to make that a success. I lose a health, but I also gain another dice. One of these birds dies. So there should be 2 on here. There we go. And the one that died will go over here. Or did I already put it over there? I can't remember, and I don't think it really matters. So, then I'm going to walk, because if I walk away, those birds won't be able to attack those 2 victims. And of course I can't walk away. Okay, so, but this does go up by 1. And I lose 2 more time, which means the only thing I can get is a close call, and there's no zeros for me to get. So, It looks like I am about to lose. We'll see, though. Let's see where this goes. Okay, so it is the bird's turn again. They get to attack. This one has 3. So this last terror card gets discarded. So at the upkeep phase, the finale will reveal. These 2 will also die, but that also means the special victims are revealed. And they can't die. They can't be attacked. Okay. And there's nobody to panic. Well, actually, all of the special victims would panic. So let's do that. Let's go for the blue one first. 4. No. Orange. 6. Yes. White. 3. There. They panicked. Upkeep, we're okay on. Finale is revealed. So the finale. For the remainder of the game, when spawning birds, roll 1 die and place that many birds in your space. Okay. So we're back to my turn, but I can't do anything because I only have 1 action card. So, I'm going to take 2 sprints. 1, 2, 3, 4. And all of my 0 cost. And I'm going to take a guard. Try to make it 1 more round. Okay, now it is the killer phase. Since I couldn't move, there are 2 birds in my space, so they're going to attack. And I do not have any final health. So that's our game. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.